And you know how the knees are up. I landed chest first into his knees. And I felt that for a few days.
You're alive. You're alive.
I was alive.
Oh, right.
But
it makes you feel something at least.
Yes, absolutely.
I had one gnarly hit where I came all the way up over and I landed straight on the floor with my kneecaps. Ouch. And I couldn't feel the impact, but like I could immediately feel that like bubble of energy you get in your belly when you're starting to like AD and your body's like, oh no, what did you just do?
Yeah.
And I looked at the coach and I was like, this one's probably going to hurt.
Yeah.
He was like, you good? I was like, sure, let's keep going.
Yeah. So far, so good. So.
Let me know when I pass out. Thanks.
Yeah.
So let's circle back to,
yeah.
You were talking about being in Walter Reed. I'm always curious too about the experience, because there's been people that got no kind of peer support at all. Maybe somebody will roll into their room for 20, 30 minutes. They disappear and that's all they got. So what was your experience?
I think I had a little bit of a unique experience in that my disability is extremely rare. There's not a lot of us out there that have it to begin with. And for the paralysis to progress through it is also extremely rare. So there wasn't a whole lot of people around that knew about it, knew what to do, knew how to treat it. So I basically was like pincushion for a good 2.5 years. Every medication you could think of. We did spinal cord stimulator trials. I failed it multiple times. I still have like an open actual like point on my back where the lead was yanked out of while I was awake. It was awful. Yeah. I ended up with a roommate 1.5 years in that actually had my disease. So then we got to trauma bond over that together and all of our failed treatments. So that was pretty crazy. But it was interesting. My command didn't ever really come in and check on me. They didn't make sure I was still doing okay. They had me on a lot of medications, a lot. And I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the military and their medical treatment procedures and stuff like that. But if you don't do what they tell you to do, you don't get benefits afterwards.
And I've heard of people getting discharged at that point too. Yes. You're not following the protocol.
Correct.
You can go enjoy civilian life.
Doesn't matter if you agree or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my poor mother ended up finding me in my 06 GTO in the handicap spot in front of the medical center of Fort Meade. Like gray, pretty cold, unconscious, like got me to the hospital. And I'm pretty sure that's like what saved my life. But they had me on so many things and people were not doing their checks and balances. They weren't making sure things weren't intermingling. They just really didn't care.
So when your mother found you, had they just abandoned you?
So I had gone into the medical center that day. I left work. I told them I didn't feel good. Something was wrong. Like I hadn't been able to sleep. I wasn't eating well. Like I was going through a lot.
This is how it started. Right? Or
yes and no.
So
this is about 3 years in.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I had already been transferred from Hawaii, where I was originally did the surgery that caused it. PCS'd over there. And then they started my medical treatment there. And that's where I continued to get worse and worse. And then they sent me across the bridge over to Walter Reed. So I left work that day and I told him, hey, I'm going to go down to sick call. I don't feel good. I don't think these meds are reacting well with me. I need to figure out what the F is going on because I am not doing okay. And at this point, I'm pretty sure nobody really believed that my disease was real and that it was really happening to me. So they were like, yeah, sure, whatever, go away. Like, just go away. I go down to the medical sick call. I go in there. I'm telling them, hey, I don't think things are like reacting well with me. Something is wrong. Like, I don't feel good. Told them everything that was going on. And they're like, you're fine. Go home, take your meds. You'll be okay. I leave. I go into my car. I go to turn it on. It does not start. And that's the last thing I remember.
Yeah.
Now,
my mom finds me.
Were you ambulatory or you were in a chair already?
I was ambulatory with a cane.
Okay.
So not well ambulatory, but decently ambulatory at that time. But yeah, so 10.5 hours later, my poor mother finds me. on base in front of the medical center in the handicap spot in front of the medical center, just passed out in my car.
Sounds like quite a while too.
10 hours.
Right? Yeah.
It was dark when she found me.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So shout out to my mom for doing that, because she's a rad lady, and I feel bad she had to even do that. But we're here today, and now I get to scare even more with all the cars.
We're going to get to the scary part. But so you said it started with a surgery.
Yeah.
So, but then you also referred to it as a disease. So help us.
So it's a neurological disease that stems from a trauma or some sort of inciting incident to a nerve. Most of the time with documented nerve damage that they can pinpoint to. For me, it was a bunionectomy that actually started everything. I woke up from the surgery having had three failed bunionectomies before. And my whole foot was on fire. It felt like somebody had lit me on fire, soaked me in diesel, lit me back up, and it was not going out. Yeah. And that's kind of where it all began. Went downhill. Yeah.
So I'm just curious. Do you think if you had gotten better care, it may not have progressed to this point, or maybe speculation? So. But I'm looking for your take. Yeah.
Completely speculatory. I do honestly think if we had done some of the more known treatment things, I know they're a little bit extreme, but I know a lot of people that have gone into remission from a lot of those things, especially when it was just in my foot. We could have easily, done the nerve ablation or just gotten rid of that, had a simple little slap on with a prosthetic and been up and walking instead of progressing and continuing to progress.
Yeah.
So it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, I think we can all agree too that leaving you in a parking lot for 10 hours isn't the highest level of care either.
I just want to know what people were thinking as they were walking by, as they were like you just think people take naps in front of the doctor's office for funsies?
Yeah.
Some people had to get off of work and walk by you.
The entire med center.
Yeah, you think a medical person, I mean, I can see it's bad enough saying a general population, but with a medical staff walking by you all night. Yeah. So what's the transition for you? I mean, you got mentally, emotionally, what?
It was rough.
Yeah.
It was really rough. There's a lot of dark days. The nickname for my disease is the suicide disease because it usually causes so much pain for people that they can't deal with it anymore. And they just kind of choose to go on their terms, which there's been days where I kind of get it. I also have the little semicolon tattooed on here because I'm a failure at one thing, at least, I guess. I don't know how to nicely say that. But yeah, I don't know. It's a choice. And I think that choosing to kind of accept things, choosing to be at peace with things, and choosing to be happy no matter what, just kind of really started to make it better for me.
And you're still fighting with the pain?
Oh, yeah.
That's still an ongoing issue, right? Yeah.
It's a constant. It's pretty much.
Oh, you're fine. You're good. I didn't even hear it, actually.
Yeah.
I was hoping he was going to do a donut for us. He usually does. But yeah, so pretty much just feels like I was lit on fire. Split midline down my hands. Pretty much, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but nipple down is like where the fire is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
So is the paralysis progressing over the years? Or
Yep. It started just in the leg and the foot. Foot drop real bad, and then the calf started not responding well at all, and then it got harder to stand on it, and then it got really, really weak. The other one started getting weak around probably thigh time, and it just got weaker and weaker, and then I went from not being able to move them too well to only standing for a few seconds before they'd give out, and then it was all the way out.
Yeah.
And then hands started going after that.
Do you know if it's stabilized now?
We've been decently slow progressive for a while. I don't know if it was the ketamine infusions that they did do to try and reset my nervous system a few years back. And I'm supposed to start doing them again soon.